What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out every tool an Air Force specialist takes into the wilderness. This is by Business Insider, so I'm probably going to get copyrighted for this. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps with that mysterious YouTube algorithm. It takes you 2 seconds to like and comment and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And I don't ask that very often, so please go ahead and do it. There'll be a link down below to the original video. Make sure you go over to Business Insider and give them a subscribe if you're not already. But before we get started, check out Chug. 10% off, link down below. I'm going to a festival this weekend, and I tell you what, I'm taking my Chug with me. I'm taking this thing with me because I know for a fact it's going to keep my beverage cold for a long time, and there's nothing worse than a warm beverage. I'll tell you that right now. Get yourself one of these, 10% off, link down below, ships to America, free customization, free bag, and it's a great bit of kit and it'll last you a long time. Also, check out My Business Morale if you haven't already. It is a healthy energy drink utilizing functional mushrooms. We still have stock in. If you're in the UK, buy some right now. Other than that, let's pull this up. Let's check it out. I'm so excited for this. I love this type of video. Just checking out what people take into the field, specifically a survival thing. If you've watched my bushcraft vlog, you know how much I'm into that stuff. So let's crack on.
I'm Airman First Class Deniston, and this is everything that a SEER specialist would take during a field training exercise.
Okay. A
SEER
regular
stands for
exercise.
Survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. My job is to be a survival instructor and teach military members how to survive in any condition anywhere in the world. Every
It's very
instructor
quiet.
has a way of doing things. I personally
Is it quiet or is it me? Is that quiet or is it me? Let me turn it up.
have a chest rig for a lot of my easy access equipment. On the front, I have a quick grab med kit. Pull that straight
It's got a nice little cheeky tourniquet right to hand as well there.
out. It has medical equipment inside of that. I also have a tourniquet directly on the front, just in case I need one of those. Hopefully, never need one. Inside
Hopefully.
here, I have things like sharpening utensils for my knives. Speaking of knives,
A round sharpening stone like that is very good for stuff like axes as well, guys. If you want to sharpen your axe, it's a good bit of kit.
I have a small pocket knife. It's a small folding knife that I can utilize this small blade for multiple purposes, whether it's animals, firewood, taking care of equipment, cutting up line, and I always have that with me. I also always carry a fixed blade knife right here. I have it on my back. Other people like to carry it other ways. This is also good for any large scale work. This allows me to help do firecraft. When I'm cutting down trees, I can break the trees down into smaller pieces and actually get some usable firewood out of that. I also have a GPS located inside here, just in case I need one.
We never carried anything like a GPS. None of that high-tech stuff when I was in the Marines, unfortunately.
A compass, which is going to be my main form of using
Best bit of kit.
direction and navigation. And then a headlamp for when it gets dark and scary. I also have a mirror, signal mirror, so I can make sure I'm looking good, but also if I need to signal anything, I have that, and a ferro rod or a ferrocerium rod to be able to strike for fires with the striker on the side.
So I went to the bushcraft show, which I'll put the vlog at the end of this if you wanna watch it. And my daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, she took part with Silas, my 7-year-old boy as well. They took part in a fire lighting lesson. And she did it first time with a ferro rod, and she won a t-shirt as best student. Now, with that being said, my son and daughter do go to forest school, and they do help with lighting the fire at forest school. So they're already well aware of how to use a ferro rod. But seeing like a class full of kids and my 5-year-old daughter just rocks up and lights a fire with a ferro rod so easily. Oh, it was like a proud dad moment, you know?
I also have a drop pouch that I can attach to the bottom. This is usually filled with my fire items, such as matches and strikers. I have natural options for tinder, as well as man-made options inside these small canisters here, like cotton swabs filled with WD-40, so I can use those to also take care of the equipment I have, keep things oiled and clean, but also use it to start fire.
Another good thing to use for firelight is a tampon, actually, because it's like a really, really dense amount of cotton. Those things, if you start opening them up, just like spread and spread and spread, it's a really good way of carrying a lot of cotton that's all compact. Just a shout out to the tampons out there.
So all of that would be in here. And then one of the other things I have is a radio pouch. We have to be in good communication with everyone around us, making sure that the training is going well. In case there's any issues or anything that needs to be changed, we can communicate. So I always have that with a radio. But then moving on to my...
He's got an Arc'teryx bag, which actually, so there's quite a few brands that started off as outdoor gear. Arc'teryx is one, North Face is another, and they've slowly diminished their quality of products because they're pushing more towards fashion. This is just a byproduct of big businesses selling off. They get cheaper products, the cheaper products with higher prices, and you're seeing these things as a result falling apart. I would actually recommend Offspray is always a good one, but I'm gonna quickly show you this new backpack by Fjallraven, which I think it's a bit pricey. Pull this up, but 250 quid, which works out at like, you know, just shy of $300. It's a bigger pack at £45. Sometimes it's not as big as military packs as what you need, but it is a really, really good bit of kit. This is their new like lightweight version, which I may end up getting at some point. They also do like the rugged kind of bushcraft versions. Great bits of kit. The reason I say it is because this is the type of company that has kind of stuck to their laurels of keeping their equipment actually really, really good. Arc'teryx is, some of the equipment's still good. If you can get secondhand stuff that's a bit older, like that backpack's probably a little bit older, and so it's probably able to withstand the test of time. But a lot of their kit now is just falling apart. Same with North Face. They've just turned into a fashion brand, unfortunately, and they're falling apart. So be aware of that.
Actual pack itself, I personally have a 75-liter pack right here.
75 litre. It's a big one
that I use for shorter trips or different times of the year where I don't need as much gear.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But this one does pretty well.
I'm pretty sure one of the Fjallraven ones, the bigger, rugged bushcraft ones, is like upwards of 60 litres. So
this one's great because it has a brain on the top for easy, quick access things. Inside my front pouch, I've got a hat because I'm not going to be wearing the beret out there, so I can protect my eyes and still wear a hat. And then I have my gloves so I don't hurt myself when I'm using any of my tools or moving trees around, moving branches, cutting through grass. To keep my pack protected as well, I have a pack cover. This is a waterproof protective layer, so if it does get raining, I can actually cover everything up and ensure that everything stays dry.
And you're already going to be carrying a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. If it gets wet, that thing's going to be twice as heavy. Believe me, it happened to me in training in the Royal Marines. It wasn't fun.
And it doesn't get damaged. I've also got binoculars, just in case I want to look at something far away. They are small, easily packable, but they have good zoom to them. I have what's called a pack hanger. Made this myself. Still lasted pretty good. It's about 2 years old. But wrap this around a tree or a heavy-duty branch, and I can hook my pack up to it. And so I can keep all my stuff off the ground, out of the dirt, out of the mud, and actually keep it protected and easily accessible.
That's pretty cool.
This is made...
That's pretty cool. I've not seen that before. Just something simple, makes life a little bit easier, protects your stuff. I like that.
Out of just standard paracord, 550 cord, braided together. It's a standard braid for the majority of it, and then it splits into, for the hooks at least, and it splits into basically a fish style braid using the two braids on the side blended together into the main braid for strength. I also have multiple lines here, also 550 cord. I have 10-foot lines and I have 5-foot lines in case you need different lengths to tie things down.
That's a lot of rope.
You want it to be tight. You want to have good pitch so that it can actually protect you from the elements. And
that's a lot of paracord. I don't know whether you need that much. I mean, he's an instructor by the sounds of it, so he's probably going to be giving stuff out and helping out with the lads. That's a lot of paracord to have on you.
So if I need to reach out far, I have longer lines. I can also connect them together and use those smaller lines to help tie other portions. A 550 can also be used to build. We have benches that we might build in an encampment. Also have a saw. You never know when you need a saw. This is just a quick, easy pack saw. You can use it to taking down branches, cutting down small trees that you don't want to get an axe out for. Makes life a little bit easier than trying to just break through things. And then just because I got to stay connected and keep things charged, I do have a battery bank that is resistant to water as well as shock, heat, and cold. So I'll keep that with me as well. Opening up the front.
Just like thinking about this so far and the kit that he's pulling out and showing, like this is a heavy bag. Like this is a lot of gear in that bag. And I don't know whether he's going to be practicing yomping a lot and hiking a lot with this on, or it's more just going to be like quick bushcraft or small escaping evasions. But you put that on your backpack, on your back for a few days, hiking upwards of 100 miles, that's gonna take its toll on you, that weight.
Of my ruck, I have...
And I just want to preface that by saying the Royal Marines that I'm part of, we're known for doing that. Like, fly just whacked me in the head, cheeky bastard. Say that again, mate. I'll slap you. We're known for yomping. That's literally our specialty, is putting heavy shit on our back and walking forever. It's what we're good at. And so we pride ourselves on that. You have to remember, it's all about the distribution of the weight in the bag, and the weight of the bag itself makes a big difference. If you're hiking upwards of 3 digits over a few days and you've got a heavy backpack on, that's some hard work. That's a graft. Don't care who you are.
A small net that I can use. I can drape this over myself when I'm sleeping or walking around, help keep the bugs off of me. This one is camouflage just so it doesn't stick out too much, but it is a great piece of equipment to have, especially during mosquito season and bee season. Just makes life a little bit more comfortable out there. I also have what we call a MUP, or multi-use pad, also handmade by me. It is stitched together using some sort of nylon material with a PVC backing, so it's fully waterproof. I can use this to place equipment on, use it when I'm maybe changing clothes out in the woods, stand on it so I can keep out of the dirt. Tons of uses. That's why it's called a multi-use pad. I also have gaiters. These are for my legs. Keep my legs dry, keep my boots dry.
Do you know what? I've never really rated gaiters. I've just never really rated them that much. They gave them us at one point in the military and no one bothered. At the end of the day, so military boots obviously are quite high rise on your ankles anyway. Like, they go up your leg a little bit. Some lads swear by them. I just didn't see the point, in my opinion. If your legs are going to get wet, they're going to get wet. Like, it just feels like redundant, in my opinion. Now, you can get certain clothing, trousers, that almost have like fitted gaiters in them. That, in my opinion, is like 10 times better, in my opinion. But I've just never really rated them that much, if I'm honest. I'd love to know what you think about gaiters in the comments.
Walking through tall grasses that are wet, it's raining out, I don't have to worry about getting wet. And along that line, I also have a Gore-Tex top right here and a Gore-Tex bottom.
Classic.
Right here.
God, that fly's massive. You could ride it into battle. Get out of here. Freaking Drogon. Gore-Tex. I am not a fan of Gore-Tex either. With that being said, we used it in the military. It's very lightweight. It is waterproof. Oh my God, it's massive. However, now that I'm not the most I'm hiking is like 15, 20 miles. Like, I'm not going out there like I used to. And so I much prefer a waterproof that's a bit more healthy, you could say. Gore-Tex is actually quite bad. It's a forever chemical. Bad for the environment and bad for you. With that being said, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference if you wear it. But I've been moving towards waxed cotton materials, which is a bit more old-fashioned. It's definitely not 100% waterproof, and it's a bit heavier. So it's definitely not as effective if you're in the field in the military. Stick to Gore-Tex. But if you're outside, if you're a civvy and you just you kind of want to have a bit of a more rugged kind of bit of equipment that's going to last you a bit longer than Gore-Tex, I would say get some sort of waxed cotton clothing, like a barber jacket. Some of that, they do some waterproof ones of them. That, again, Fjallraven, which I'm going to fanboy over them quite a bit. They do waterproof jackets and smocks that are made of this like G1000 cotton that's waxed. I really like that kit. I really do.
As you can see, I'm currently laying everything out on a poncho. I carry 2 of them. They're usually in this bottom section right here for quick access. I have this one here and the one on the base. These can be used for shelter pieces. I can place them on the ground to put my equipment on. I can also use them to just keep things dry and protected in inclement weather. Just a few different uses. Not going to put it on myself because I have my Gore-Tex as well.
That's another thing as well, where you said that at the end there. There's a lot of brands coming out now that sell waterproof ponchos. I've seen both Gore-Tex and wax cotton. I have a wax cotton poncho that has hoops on the corners and can be also used as a tarp. It can be used as some sort of shelter. It's even got, the one I've got's got like a cotton insert on the inside, so you can even put it on the ground and use it as a blanket. So really, really cool bits of kit. I'm a big fan of when one item has many, many purposes. And so if you can get yourself a waterproof poncho that can drape over you, when you put it on, it drapes over your backpack as well, so you don't need a backpack cover, and it can be used as a tarp. You've just got 3 things in one there, right? I'm a big fan of doing stuff like that because it lightens the load. And also, for the most part, you're spending less money as well. So unless you're in the military and you get it issued to you, that's a different thing in it.
On this side, you'll notice there is a handle sticking out. That is my axe. I do carry an axe with me to the woods. This is going to be used in case I have to take down any trees for some firewood or get some of those bigger branches. If there's any hazards in the way, I can also use this to really chop through them, break up some bigger pieces of wood for fires as well.
Get yourself a good axe, lads. Get yourself a good axe. Nothing from Home Depot and B&Q. For the most part, it's shit. The wood is varnished. It'll give you blisters. You want something. I got a Hultaford's, is it called? Hultaford's Swedish handmade axe. You're paying a premium. Don't get me wrong. It's a bit more expensive, but these bits of kit will literally be something you pass down to your kids. Get yourself a good axe because it makes such a difference, both for the use of it and also your exhaustion. Like if you've got a good bit of axe, firstly, you can do multiple things with it. You can shave and make, smaller pieces of firewood with it. You can chop down trees with it. There's multi-use. The ones from B&Q and Home Depot, yeah, you could do that, but you got to put a lot more effort in. You got more chance of injuring yourself. They're just not as good. And you can fix them up. I've seen people like strip them and fix them up, but it's a lot of extra work when you can buy something that is a good bit of quality, if I'm honest with you.
On the other side, I have my water bottle. This one is a Grail water bottle. I like this one out in the woods just because it has a built-in purification filter, so I don't have to worry about disinfecting it after filtering my water. Just pull this casing out, fill it up, and press to actually get water into the main canister. And
that's really cool.
Right away. And then just because there are bears out here, we do have bear spray as well. It's a good idea to have, easy accessible. I can just reach over my shoulder, pull it out if I ever need it. Hopefully I don't.
Yeah.
Carry a slingshot, because you never know when you might find a good tasty grouse or a rabbit. You can get one of those, get some additional food out there.
That's really cool.
Depends. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. Depends on what I have as my ammo, whether it's shot, rocks, or what animal I'm trying to hit, how far away it is. I've had some pretty good success with a couple grouse. Grouse is pretty tasty as well, so if you haven't had it, you should try it. It's all dark meat. It's an upland bird. I don't really know how to explain it. It's pretty good. Opening up the main pouch of my ruck, inside at the top, I have what we call an 8 gore. This is a chunk of parachute. It's large. On parachutes, there's these things called gores, and this is going to be 8 of those gores, 8 segments in one. This can be tied up high up to some trees to create some nice shade on hot days, as well as protect from the rain. If it is raining, I can have a large space that stays dry. So this is awesome. And when we're packing our ruck,
yeah, I mean, that's not something I would carry, obviously, but it's a specialty for him. It's something as an instructor and he's leading men that it's a wise idea for shelter for the lads.
we want the heaviest stuff towards the top and closest to our back, just to make life 100% when we're carrying it.
You want that heavy kit up on the top of the bag so there's more weight on your shoulders and it's not pulling you on your back. Bobby Basics, lads.
So I have that up there just because it is one of the heavier items, even though it is just a parachute. And then I have another just single gore of a parachute here. This can be used to wrap up materials. If I don't have like a trash bag, I can use this to house some of my food for that bear cache. I can use it as an improvised tourniquet if I need to. Maybe I've already used one tourniquet. I have another one available in that sense.
Is there a reason why it's like braided up?
This is braided up. It's called a daisy chain, just to help with storage. It doesn't get all wadded up into a ball, and I can just undo one of these latches right here and actually just pull the whole thing apart just like so. I also have a dry sack filled with some extra clothes just in case I do get wet, and just to stay clean out in the woods. I will usually carry about 3 or so extra pairs of undergarments, shirts, anything like that, socks, so I can actually change out, keep myself healthy, keep myself clean.
Most important bit of warm, dry clothing you can take in the field is socks. You've got to maintain your feet. Again, because Royal Marines are known as specialists in yomping and walking long distances, foot maintenance was like we literally were hounded on with foot maintenance, making sure we're taking care of our feet at all times. If we stopped and we're in a safe spot, taking our boots and socks off, letting our feet air out, getting some fresh socks on, it literally makes the world a difference. If you can only take one bit of spare clothing with you in the field, take a pair of socks, trust me.
With being clean, I also have a hygiene kit. So inside here, I have like some micro toothbrushes to keep my teeth clean, some foot powder to keep my feet dry. I have a pack towel, so if I take a bath in the creek or something like that, I can dry myself off. Deodorant so I don't get all stinky. Then nature calls when you're in the restroom, when you need to use the restroom. So have some wipes I can use out in the woods, just keep myself clean. I also got to eat too, so I like to bring these rec packs. They're 700 calories, they got a lot of protein in them, and you just add water. Those are good to go. A lot of people use Mountain House meals or Peak Mule. Also whatever we can catch or collect while we're out in the woods as well.
Yeah, them rations that are like they're completely dry and you just add water inside of them. Very different to the ones I got in the military where they were like wet on the inside and you just cracked them open a little bit and put the bag in water and boiled it. Them things are heavy. Get yourself them ones with dry food inside and you hydrate it yourself. I've tried them recently. They're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
If I do need to cook something or if I need an additional heat
Classic
source,
Jetboil.
I do have a Jetboil. It's an easy pack stove. I can open this up, strike it up, get a heat source, or actually cook with what I have here.
I might be wrong. Someone told me that the design of a Jetboil was copyrighted, was trademarked, whatever it is. And the trademark ran out not long ago. And so now there's lots of like Amazon copies that are cheaper but are exactly the same. So just be aware, because Jetboils, you're looking at like 100 quid for one of them. And if you can get something that's the exact same but just doesn't have the name on it for like a third of the price, make sure you keep an eye out for that.
Sleep too. So I have a sleep mat that I can just inflate up, throw that on the ground on top of maybe one of my ponchos. And then my actual sleep system to go with that, I have just a standard 32-degree sleeping bag. For when it gets hotter or colder, I have a supplemental insert. So if it is colder and this won't do it, I can add this insert liner into that to help increase that warming capabilities. And when it's really hot, I can use just this to actually stay a little cooler at night.
That's cool.
I like to be comfortable as well.
That's cool.
So I have a pack pillow. It just inflates up, throw that in, sleeps a little more comfortably at night, and actually have something to kind of lay my head on instead of just the ground. And then as my main shelter piece, I do also have a large tarp, and I'll string this up above me, give it some good tightness, some good pitch, and make basically a mini house that I can sleep in, change, go over anything I need to go over for the next day as far as teaching wise, and be like I'm at home out in the woods. Depending on the
So that's 3 tarps plus a parachute that he's got. That's a lot of shelter he can build, isn't it?
weather, I don't always want a sleep mat, so sometimes I will bring a hammock out, and that's what this guy is, just an easy small packable hammock. And just to stay a little bit warmer, I have an underquilt to go with that. So if I want to sleep on the ground, or maybe I can't find a good spot, or I don't expect to be in areas with good flat spaces for sleeping, I can throw a hammock up, still stay pretty comfortable, be elevated off the ground away from any bugs.
Hammocks are so underrated. Like, so underrated. Recently, I went to Cornwall with the kids in the van, and I've only got one bed, a double bed in the back of the van. And obviously, it's me, Juniper, and Silas, my 2 kids. And so Juniper slept on the bed with me, and Silas was like, well, I could sleep on the floor. And then in the middle of the night, he was sleeping on the floor on a sleeping mat. And I was like, I feel really bad for him. And I forgot that I had my hammock with me. And I put the hammock up in the van, like across the van diagonally because it's big enough. And I woke him up. I was like, hey, are you comfy? It was fine. He was like, yeah, I'm comfy. I was like, yeah, but would you like to sleep in a hammock? He's like, yeah. Jumps into the hammock, gets a really good night's sleep, wakes up super happy. I love hammocks. They're sick.
Or if it is raining, right, that also gets me out of that wet ground as well. And then very lastly, I do have just a large braided rope. This can be used for if I need to tie something that needs a lot of tensile strength. I've used it to create my own makeshift hammock. So I've used my regular 550 to tie 2 poles that I cut down to a tree. And then I strung those together, cross-hatching it with this thicker guy to create some sort of springboard. And
wow.
On top of that with my sleeping bag, and it was actually pretty comfortable overall.
That's cool.
And I actually took some of that parachute to create like another extra layer inside of it. I feel like being really fancy, and I don't want to have a tarp as my shelter piece, or I don't want to have a poncho on the ground. I do have a very ultra lightweight tent that...
I mean, these new tents that are coming out that are like ultra lightweight, I've got one as well that's supposed to be a 2-man tent, but like it's so light that you can take it as a 1-man tent. And I recently went to Snowdonia and hiked a bunch and slept in a tent, and it was just phenomenal. They're so good. The technology is so good to keep them that light now that, in my opinion, it's worth just taking one. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice to just bivvy bag it. It's nice to just go underneath a tarp, isn't it? But now that the kit is so light, you can get good 1-man, 2-man tents for real cheap, and they're really light. So have a look for that.
If I take the poles out and place them inside my ruck, this actual tent itself can compress all the way down to here, and I can pack that with me as well. Be even more comfortable while I'm out there.
Nice.
I also have maps because in order to know where I'm going, I need to know where I am. And so these maps help me figure out what kind of terrain I'm going to be going through, what to expect while I'm traveling, and help me with my navigational abilities.
Learn to map read, guys. If you don't, and you're watching this and you're not military, learn to map read. It's such a fun skill. I was always very surprised in the military how many people didn't, and like when it was like a night navigation or something like that, the technical part of reading a map, I loved that. Like looking at the map, trying to figure out where I am. And when you get to a certain place, that you get to a checkpoint, it's so rewarding that you figured it out. There was a lot of lads that just weren't interested in, like, they did it because you had to become a Royal Marine, right? But they were like, meh, it's not that big of a deal. I love map reading. I think it's a great way to get yourself outside, to look at the environment that you're in as well. Like really kind of be present while you're doing it. Get outside and do it if you haven't done it before.
That is everything that I would take with me during a field training exercise.
A lot of kit. Fantastic video by Business Insider. I'll probably get copyrighted, so please like and subscribe. I will leave a link down below to the OG video. I'd love to know, what would you take and what would you not take with what he had? Is there anything that you're like, I wouldn't even bother with that? Or is there extra stuff you'd be like, you should have took this as well? Let me know in the comments. I'm massive into bushcraft and the outdoors. It's literally a massive passion of mine since I was a kid watching Ray Mears. And I still watch Ray Mears now, and I read all of his books. I think he's phenomenal. Just getting outside and learning bushcraft, especially when I do it with my kids. I've 2 years in a row now that I've been to the Bushcraft Festival with my kids. And I've got tickets already for next year's because it's so good. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. Check out Morale if you haven't already. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. Goodbye.